What is going on, friends, and welcome back to the Minecraft Hub channel. Today we are checking out TANGO TEK and his base evolution throughout the seasons of Hermitcraft. TANGO TEK has been a part of Hermitcraft since season 2, so he's been around a long time and has built a lot of really cool things. Right now we're just kind of wandering around the world of season 2. There's a lot to explore in this world, it's very spread out. But Tango's base is just over here in the side of the mountain, and it is super cool. It really looks like the immersive portals mod, but basically what it is he designed a perspective base so that it looks like you're seeing in and out of the nether and the overworld, and I think this looks super cool. Underneath all this is his storage system, of course, but this up here was really the big part of his base that he worked a lot on. Now, actually walking around back here and seeing how he actually laid everything out is kind of immersion breaking. You don't really get the full effect of the portals anymore, but it is really cool to see exactly how he went about doing this. It's so cool having that perspective of going back and forth between the overworld and nether. And then down here we can drop down. He's got a little slime block launcher to get out of this. And this is where his storage room was. There really isn't much else down here. These stairs lead to nothing, and this is where his chests and everything were to keep all of his items throughout this season. And if we head back up, we can actually see where his base is located. So this base is actually on the road just down from Corralis's house from this season. It's this one down here on the right with all the custom trees and everything out front. And then you can see all the other really cool stuff of season 2 here. Moving on to Hermitcraft Season 3, we have a few different spots to look at. First of all is in Hermit Hills, of course. Tango had his little house here in Hermit Hills. This one really didn't contain much. Most of his stuff was in his shared base with Impulse and also the nether hub that he built. This base though does look really cool. It's built within this mountain and then it transfers up into an actual building on top, and then you can see he also has a storage room here. If we take a little trip to the nether, however, we can go and find this amazing nether hub that he built. This thing is really cool looking. It's such an evil looking castle and really a giant prelude to what he builds in Hermitcraft Season 5. The minecart track that leads away from here goes back to the main nether hub that all the hermits used, but this one leads directly into the shared base that Impulse and Tango were working on this season. Now, unfortunately, in my evolution of Impulse video, I did forget to come here and show off this part of the base. I only showed his Hermit Hills base. So for a little more information on Impulse, this was the mega base that he was working on with TANGO TEK. There's a lot to explore here, some little hallways with different rooms. This one I believe was a room to show off the Patreon donators. And then in here there's different quarters of this circle that have different biomes and things like that. Unfortunately, this build was not finished. There are some quadrants of it that were not finished, but there were 2 areas that were, which is this snow biome over here, which I think looks really cool, little hut, and then my favorite part of this base, which is the saloon. This saloon looks so cool, super old western. There's an abandoned mine shaft in the back. They did a really great job of making this place look like an old western town, but it's just a small quadrant of the rest of this base. This base is somewhat difficult to find. They played on an amplified world this season, so trying to navigate through the massive biomes and the massive hills is somewhat difficult, so going through the nether hub to find this is the easiest way. Moving on to Hermitcraft Season 4, the giant mesa biome season. This season, TANGO TEK decided to build a really incredible castle. This castle is super detailed. I think this is the most detailed build from Tango up to this point. I think this thing looks really cool, and it's got a lot of fun things on the inside of it. So as we head inside, directly to the left is going to be the storage room that Tango always builds. This is his automated storage room. Everything goes into the chests he wants. But then if we head down these stairs, we're going to find some really fun things. So this whole thing is lined with anvils, which really shows how much iron he was pumping out this season. But the coolest room, which I may have accidentally broken a little bit, is this room right here. This room is a changing room, so basically all the walls, the floors, everything will change out by the press of a button. Now this button is actually underneath the banner right outside the front here, so if we break it we can just click it very easily, step inside, and this whole room is going to change. So the nether themed room we were looking at before is now completely in theme, even with end crystals, end rods, all that. I think this is just a super cool room and really shows off Tango's skill with redstone. And of course his skill with building was really great this season. This castle, super detailed, as I said. I love the roofs of it. He did a great job with all the different shapes that he put into this castle. It's not just one flat wall or anything like that. I think this castle looks really cool, and of course has great stuff going on the inside of it. Now moving on to season 5 of Hermitcraft, and this thing was absolutely insane. This nether fortress, I guess, that he built is so cool looking, so evil looking. He did a great job of just making everything look very round. This whole thing is built on this circle here, but he also has, as you can see along the edges, these curved little hooks. I don't know really what to call them, coming in over the bridge. I think all of this just looks so cool. This center tower here leads up to the storage room at the very top of it. Down here I believe there's also some sort of farm, I don't quite remember right now, and then also the nether portal that leads to the rest of the Hermitcraft bases. This base is actually directly next to Hermitcraft Hollows, where Scar built the entire community center for this season, where everybody could put their shops and things like that. Now up here at the very top there is this awesome lime green glass that kind of makes this smoke above the center of the build. I think this looks really cool, makes it look very mystical. And on the inside here, with a very cool looking entrance, we have the storage room, and there's actually a 2-layer storage room to this. So up here we have all things like brewing, diamonds, things like that. And then down here in this storage room is where we're going to find most of our blocks and other mass storage items. This season is definitely when things got really big. As you can tell, this base is way bigger than what anything Tango had built before in the earlier Hermitcraft seasons, and you can probably see why I said it was somewhat similar to the season 3 nether hub that he built. It's very nether evil looking, and it has all these lava flows and things like that. Just over here is actually his iron farm from this season. This was back when iron farm still needed hundreds of villager doors in order to work. So it's a very big iron farm system to produce loads and loads of iron for the entire Hermitcraft server. Now in Hermitcraft Season 6, these dueling intertwined dragons roping around the castle center here is actually where Tango's base is. So he did this up top with these intertwined dragons, which I think really cool. Definitely a great statue and a really great base entrance, because if you go up to the top of the tower and then drop down, you'll find a huge excavated area where Tango's base is. Now this base is largely unfinished because Tango actually took a 7-month break from Hermitcraft during this season because he was working on the Tektopia villager mod. So unfortunately we don't have a really incredible base, but it was definitely going to be something really insane. You can see just up into the river above, and there was a lot of work going into this base before Tango decided to take a break and focus on that mod development. This is of course in the fantasy area, so it was going to be somewhat fantasy themed. He's got this little cottage here, and then there is also over here where he started to build the walls of this place. We have of course the classic Tango TEK storage area, an automated storage area that you can see right here. The back here shows off all the redstone of it. But if we actually go and look at it, it is pretty much the same as what we've seen in previous seasons of his storage rooms. Moving on to Hermitcraft Season 7, we have Toon Towers, and this base was so cool. This is probably one of my favorite of Tango's bases. It's so cool looking, super unique. I've never seen anything built like this in Minecraft before. Up in this blue tower is where we actually have his storage room, and it's a mass storage room. It holds a ton of stuff. All of these towers are actually home to different farms and things like that. In the back we have, a slime farm, a creeper farm, things like that, and some produce cactus, sugarcane, bamboo. Pretty much everything is being produced by these towers. This is definitely one of the most unique builds that I've seen in Minecraft. It's very colorful, lots of different colored concrete, things like that, and it's very animated. All of these buildings have little faces or mustaches, things like that, that kind of bring them to life. They're also not just straight buildings, they're kind of curved. So it adds a little bit of life to all of these buildings. These buildings really do feel alive, and that's what I really love about Tango TEK's Season 7 base. Now, as we know, Hermitcraft Season 8 was very short, so we didn't really get an insane base from Tango TEK, but in this mountain that BOO terraformed, Tango built this amazing gate, and then inside was Fifi the Destroyer. This thing is absolutely massive, and he was going to terraform the inside here. You can see he was doing a little bit, some deep slate, blackstone, lava, smoke rising up, those types of things he was going to put all around. There's also huge dripstone stalactites just around this whole thing. This really would have been very cool to see completely finished, but as it is now, I still think it is very cool. The inside right in the middle underneath Fifi has the giant storage system, of course, all automated, and this was actually a shared storage system with BOO, as BOO did construct this entire mountain, and the Big Eyes crew was working together to make more diamonds than anybody else on the server. And of course, the little bit of lightning we just heard was from the thunderous Fifi the Destroyer. Tango TEK is also known for his mini games that he makes throughout the seasons of Hermitcraft. Hermitcraft Season 7 he made Decked Out, which was a huge hit, and in Hermitcraft Season 8 he actually made this little carnival tent over here, which inside was zombie bumper boats. This was really fun to see some of the hermits come and test this out. You basically hop in the boat with the zombie, but the zombie is looking at the other player, and you try to kill the other player in their boat. Always fun and super interesting ideas from Tango TEK. That is pretty much all that I have for you guys today though. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like on it, and if you're new to our channel, hit that subscribe button as well. We put out a ton of different Minecraft content. We have done evolutions of the other hermits, and we will be doing all the hermits hopefully before Season 9 starts, but that could be any day now. So we may be doing some of these evolution videos into Hermitcraft Season 9, which we will of course cover as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.